Hi, Janine. How are you doing?
Hi, Catherine. I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a bit tired today. I've had an exciting week, which I'll tell you all about as we go through.
Okay.
Hence I need my glasses to read my questions because it's been one of those long days. But I just wanted to say how much I loved your housewarming party and how beautiful it was that you shared that with us. And it was just fantastic. So thank you so much for doing that for everyone.
It was a lot of fun, and we cut everybody off right when the real fun got started. But
yes, exactly. Get that party started.
And we got some complaints about that. Some people said, "What? You just poured the champagne and you kicked us out?"
Yeah, but we had our own champagne for you. I certainly did anyway. So, and for anyone that hasn't seen, I think it came out yesterday, your Jean-Claude, Tamara and you interview is absolutely phenomenal. So if anyone hasn't watched that, I just wanted to give a shout out to that because I listened to it on my dog walk this morning, and actually I got quite emotional listening to it. There were a lot of really powerful things in that came across from the three of you. It was really wonderful.
Yeah, it felt like it went really deep, that one, for sure.
Yeah, I was speaking to our mutual friend David Cohen about it, and I think it really was deep and really powerful. So if anyone hasn't had a time to watch that, that's definitely worth it.
Awesome.
So as usual, we've got a whole range of questions today that I've been changing as the day comes through and more things come out and everything. But the first one I'm going to have a bit of fun with. Now, I asked last week about Daniel Craig. I love Daniel Craig. I'm here, Daniel, if you want. If you like cats, then I'm your woman. But I went to see the new movie. I never go to see movies, and I'm not going to give too much away because I know there's lots of people who haven't seen it, but the new James Bond No Way to Die movie, I was sitting there, I couldn't contain myself with how many messages are in that film. For anyone who's awake, I need to see it. There's so many messages in that film that I need to see it 10 more times just to even, because I couldn't make this. I was driving my husband mad. I was going, that's because of this, that's because of this. He was like, oh, shut up, just watch James. But so I wanted to ask you and the cards, is that film made, so the latest James Bond film, No Way to Die, Daniel Craig's last, is it made by the white hats or the black hats is my first question on it. Might need a swig of wine for this one. I don't want to.
Made by the good guys. So we got a yes, put in place, and by who? Well, these are really well aspected together. So I'd say the good guys, but maybe not directly the white hats.
No.
Maybe it had some direction from really wise old souls or off-worlders or ancient civilization. Maybe they even live here on Earth. I feel like there's a lot of help right now to humans from all kinds of directions, including off-worlders and or maybe like other beings that live amongst us that we don't literally know about yet or something. But anyway, it had a lot of influence. But interesting, the person who might have wrote the actual script or whatever may not have realized they were being channeled to.
Wow.
I feel like they infiltrated the person writing it and sort of utilized, or sometimes we get these channeled things as artists or writers or whatever. I'm telling you, I think it's the universe's way of putting things out there through us.
I agree. I mean, I think that's so important, Janine, because anyone who sees that, that's so good. I've got an excuse to go back and see it again now then, because it is absolutely unbelievable. As I said, I won't give too much away because a lot of you haven't seen it, but unbelievable the messages in that film. I would recommend any one of our audience to see that for that reason to see. So my next question on that is the delay. The film was delayed by a couple of years because of the whole scandemic, but is the timing of this release significant in terms of because I can't give too much away, but the storyline revolves around, it's very similar to what's going on in terms of targeted dispatching of certain people. So is it released now for a reason?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything, all the messages in it are very clearly pointing towards things that are happening, are going to happen, or coming.
Yeah. Okay, this is really important because you'll have to go and see it, Janine.
Oh, man, well, are you guys going to theaters? I don't know if our theaters
We're
are
allowed.
open.
We're still allowed at the moment without the dreaded pass, because Jean-Claude was saying that he couldn't. So if not, I'll have to tell you all about it, because honestly, it is, I could not believe, I knew there would be some messages in it, but I didn't realize there would be that much in it. It is really just packed from start to finish with messages for us all. So quite incredible, actually. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really good. So anyone who's allowed to go and see it, let us know, and let us know what you think. But I'm so pleased because there's some really important things that when it all comes out, I think it's going to click into place for so many people. That.
Yep.
So the next question isn't quite such a positive one. Okay, the passport that's being introduced all around the world, is this a cover-up to introduce the system that they've got in China, where everything is controlled electronically and linked to that passport, including your money? Let's say the actual name of the system.
You bet. That was the original idea. It was planned by deep state, which we know is all over the world, infiltrated all governments, social medias, probably invented social media. Frankly, they've been utilizing social media since the beginning of its conception, as far as I'm concerned. The TV was probably designed and programming to do exactly that. Programming. They've been putting it in plain sight for, you know, years and years. So yeah, secretly, that's what the plan was for sure. Okay, it's been largely taken over. So that's been a battleground. So that's been that is still a battleground. They're still duking it out. That's their last front, is the media pushing that and all the lies that go along with that. Like how many people afflicted by the thing, and how many people getting the, you know what, and how many aren't. And we discovered with Tamara that they absolutely didn't have near the numbers they're saying they do, as far as people going along with this. There's way less than they're telling you, way less. And actually, if you go down to Calgary around 17th Avenue, on the weekends, all kinds of people are making picnics outside of restaurants, hundreds and hundreds all along the streets with their blankets when it was warm, and that was last weekend and the weekend before, and they're like eating outside and bringing picnics, which is brilliant.
I love it. Oh, I love it. That's what they did in France, didn't they? Good old people of France. So this is the thing, is people are so resilient and they will find a way. I must just say, I wish I could take my camera outside, because if you can just all picture, my husband is trying to catch the 3 guinea pigs to put them away for the night. It's like a comedy show. He's chasing these guinea pigs around in their outside pen. So he's crawling around. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So if I look distracted, that's why.
That's funny.
So I know, again, this came up in a couple of your other videos. So mid-December is quite a crucial date in lots of different countries. So I know it was mentioned in the land of the kangaroos that they couldn't extend their emergency powers past mid-December. And also in the UK, there's something that's come out that shows that the exemptions to the new passport, there will be no exemptions past mid-December. So this mid-December seems quite a crucial time, which is probably explains all the pushing. Can we ask the cards about, I'm trying to think exactly how to phrase it, why this mid-December, and are there evil plans going to be flummoxed before then?
Interesting. It's definitely why they're pushing things. So there's that might be, I got the feeling as soon as you said it, that they have some kind of deal to leave the earth, some of the high up evildoers.
Good.
So they're still pushing to get everything reversed as if it will, or do as much damage on the way out. So this feels like it's because they're going to be leaving. And right away when you said that, I got they have a date that they some deal with, with, I think, off-worlders.
Yeah.
I think that there's some kind of something will go into effect then, and it has something to do with galactic forces. Yeah, so I think those dates are probably really important because that's their bitter end, but I think they're leaving before that. I think they're gonna there's lots of opportunities and ways that they could be officially smoldering before that, which is obviously we're rooting for that.
We really are. Come and get them up there. We're giving you permission to come and get them early. We want them gone really quickly, but that really rings true. And wouldn't that be the best Christmas present ever for everyone to have them carried off? I'd quite like to see them going though. That would be really good. So, in France this week, there's been actually in quite a lot of the French mainstream media, some horrific exposures about what's been going on in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I saw that.
And really, I mean, stuff that I think most people knew was going on, but it's still really, really horrible to realize the scale of this. Now, do the cards think that this is a precursor to exposing the Vatican and the person in the robes that lives there?
It's actually a desperate attempt by the bad guys, if you can believe it, to shine the light on. They're trying to take attention away from some other people that are going to be going down. So that's how bad it is for these guys. They do anything. They're throwing their own selves under the bus. So they're going to, they're giving you those guys and hoping that you don't pay attention to what's coming out about them. Because those already, the Vatican was rounded up and taken over a long time ago. Like anybody who lives around there, let us know if you've seen tours going in there. Are things normal? I don't think they've been normal for a while there. Something's fishy about that. So they even had the lights off for quite a while, kind of like the White House. By the way, the White House, on the day that all the shenanigans happened with Facebook and Instagram and everything, so Monday, I think, there was a great red lights lit up the the White House that night. Red.
Wow. Red
October. All lit up in red October.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's just so much. I found it quite hard actually of the last 2 weeks to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much coming out. That's just amazing. And doesn't that just sum up how demonic things are, they will just chuck anyone associated with the church under the bus straight away? And we've always known that there's no loyalty in this group whatsoever. And that is going to be a key part of their downfall, because I've also seen, we spoke, I think it was last week, about R. Kelly and him being convicted for his sex crimes against minors and women. And I've also seen reports that he said he's going to be bringing a lot of other stars down with him. Yeah, and he will be. I saw on Telegram just before we came in, Janine, but I just saw a couple of Telegram channels showing it, that today in Washington, the new Homeland Security building, there was an explosion in it. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I didn't.
Can we ask the cards about that, and just if they've got what they can tell us about the significance of that?
Good guy op. something to the advantage of humans happened when that happened, something they've been wanting to do for a while. So all the cards on that main line are really, really positive. This was in the past. So something was happening or something was there that really needed either cleaned up or cleared out, because there's a moving out of troubled waters. So victory for humans, something they've wanted to do for a long time. So it was, maybe the explosion was covering up something they were doing. Yeah, so here's how the bad guys feel about it. So they got their hands on something. I'm thinking paperwork.
Yeah.
I'm thinking paperwork. And it also made it so it was being used for something for the bad guys, whether that's you got somewhere through there or there's something being utilized there that is no longer, they're not able to access. So it cut off some kind of access point, whether that was an information access or was it like a headquarters for information for the bad guys. So it's like they're cutting them off at all their passes.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll have a look more after we finish about that, because it's something I just saw today, but it was definitely doing the rounds. So that's quite amazing.
I did have a really interesting kind of vision on Monday that I haven't actually shared. I kind of been letting it percolate so I can understand it, but it was like something just popped in my head that said, Mr. T always gets even and he would never leave something half done. That's not his style. And it was this weird calmness that came over me. That's like, there's so many things planned. They're getting them while they're down, and they're just going to keep like bringing it this whole month. And that's why they called it this color October, because they're hammering them. And I just got this calm feeling, and this little voice in me said, he would never, that is not his style. He would never lose something like that he worked this hard for, and his whole family was put in what they were put through. He would never just give that up. He's absolutely in the background doing all kinds of stuff, him and his team there. Not to say he's a savior, and we're not saying that, but I am saying they got all kinds of things planned for these guys.
Yeah.
We can't personally, we wouldn't even know about the deep state dark cult to the extent we do if it wasn't for that group, the letter of the alphabet group. We wouldn't even know about this. So we did need help. We can't just do it ourselves. We needed guidance. And yeah, we got a part to play, but there's also a large, incredible group working on the behalf of humanity. So I like to put them both in there. I don't like to just excommunicate them like they didn't do anything. They've been working the Alliance for 20 years at least, maybe longer.
I think it's so
I like to
important.
mention them.
Yeah, credit where credit's due, because any war is a strategy that involves the troops in the trenches, so to speak. It involves the people planning the things, and it's everyone using their different skills where they can. And I think it's really important we give these people the credit, because as you say, we wouldn't have known any of this, and we wouldn't have been able to have the foot soldiers come up and do their bits and everything had they not set the scene and got it to a stage where we could do that. So it's so important. Every single bit of the jigsaw puzzle, everyone's got a place to, you know, an important part to play, and we still have, haven't we? We've still got to keep going and finish the job off.
Yeah, because we're the ones going to benefit on the other side of this, because we won't be enslaved anymore. We're going to have to rethink everything, and it'll be a lot of hard work. So I'm not underestimating, because it will have to start from scratch, but at least we'll know where exactly we stand, where in the past we were in a complete matrix illusion. At least we'll be standing on sovereign ground going, okay, how do we build this properly? And we are going to have to work to make sure and ensure that something like this can never happen to humans again. That's going to be our job going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you can't make good decisions when the basis of all the decisions you've been making have been on lies. And that's the beauty, is once we find out the real situation, we can really make massive leaps forward for the whole of the world and beyond. Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we've had a lot of talk over this process about there being like a second Nuremberg trial, and there's things popping up in every single country where these trials are going on, but of course they're not being reported about. So could we ask the cards about where we are with the legal system being able to actually bring some of this to a halt? Is that going to be one of the important ways that we stop this roller coaster?
That was the wish. But I feel like some of it's been walked away from because they're discovering that the legal system's letting them down left, right, and center, which we've been seeing that for quite a while. Is in particular, the spotlight was in the US legal system for a while there with the shenanigans going on. And then also Canadian legal system, even just today, really let everybody down. Something like they're saying that it isn't our human right. So it was brought to the courts, and then they came back with, no, they can, you know, push things without exemptions. So it's like, yeah, no, you know, so our legal systems also, so they're all corrupt, obviously, a whole bunch of them. But I feel like it's going to end up with some military action. 𝐷𝐸𝐻 been saying that all along. This is the good guy military, because everybody's corrupt, right down to our legal systems. They put the people they put in. I mean, if it was working properly, of course, all of this would have been thrown out a long time ago, but it's not working. And that government's enforcing these ridiculous things, absolutely know who's in their pocket and who isn't. So yeah.
And I think that's where people just need to, you know, you have got to attack it, but you can't just sit back and wait and assume that they've got this in hand, because unfortunately, however good their cases are, we know that doesn't mean a lot in a corrupt system.
I'm thinking some of them will work out when you got a good judge who actually does their job. But if they're in the pocket of, and they're being bribed, and or they got something on the judge, which of course is going to be a lot of them, and they're part of the deep state or dark cult, they're, guess what, going to be corrupt. So you're going to have, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, great. So but there's some amazing lawyers really sticking up there, and I think that's just they're bringing a lot of awareness in other ways, so we're definitely giving them our support. Now, I have seen Edward Snowden has now got a Telegram channel. Can we ask the cards whether that's a genuine one? So there's been a lot of interest in that.
I don't know about that. Somebody might be working on the behalf of them. Like, I don't get it's false. It's representing maybe something that he would put out there, but this card's in the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, no, it's not actually him. You know what I mean? And like, when was what did we last hear about him? He's been through the ringer here, from what I can see.
It really has. And I think, you know, this is the thing, is it's like so difficult to, you know, him and Julian Assange, you know, it's just a constant roller coaster. And you're just thinking, God, why have these people not got more protection, considering the role they've had in terms of actually bringing things out into the open?
I got a feeling he was whisked away somewhere safe. This is a safety. Looking from a distance. I think he's nodding to whatever they're putting out on, but it's on his approval, but it's not literally him sitting
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because cards like to be really literal that way, but
That's good.
he's not against it, and it's not fabricated without his knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. And I would think he's a bit busy to be running his own Telegram channel, probably. Now, we've had a lot of questions this week about the UK Queen and when it is going to come out or be announced that she is no longer with us to the general public. So when are the normies going to be told that Queenie is no longer here?
They got a planned date they want to do this. It'll be on a really big celebration day. So they got a big plan. They want to do this. It'll be on a date that's going to be a big revelation. I feel like a celebration date. But I don't know if that's our celebrating or is that bad guy celebrating. And we know October 31st is and all through October, there's all kinds of dates that are really dark culty.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll nod to her affiliations with the dark cult by taking her out on one of those dates.
Halloween would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Right? Wouldn't that be interesting?
That would be very interesting.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. We're 70% to it, whatever that means. So it's saying we got a plan for this. We got this planned. Yeah. They've been planning this for a really long time, it looks like, and they got a very specific date in mind.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then, yeah, it's really interesting. So obviously we think that a lot of, not just in the UK, but other royals across the globe are not currently who we think they are at the moment. Different people playing different parts in that. And it's interesting to see when they suddenly ping up as a distraction and then disappear off again. Yeah. So given the fact that quite possibly what we've been seeing is a complete act for quite some while in terms of not the real characters playing the parts, moving forward, is the plan that there will still be royals, even if it's people playing a part? What is the plan for royals moving forward?
Yeah.
Are they going to have them playing a role, or are they just going to be wiped out?
Okay, can I just mention something?
Yeah.
Catherine, so there was all of that talk before the big premiere of that movie where she really burned up, right? Okay, did you notice she almost looked surreal? She was so perfect that it was absurd. Okay, so where did she disappear? For 60 days, she wasn't seen at least 60 days straight. Okay, so did they clone her? Did they take her off the earth plane and find somebody and made them perfect with plastic surgery, and she needed time to recover, whoever that's playing her? Because I thought the two of them looked surreal and not real. They didn't look real. They felt absolutely energetically false, like they were too perfect to be, and almost like on purpose too perfect. She's never looked that good. Come on. Yeah, she's a great looking lady, but that was absurd. It was almost like she was taller. She was more perfect. The outfit was stupendous. Yeah. How they looked. And to the point of something's weird's going on. Not even a hair out of place. And I know that's a big event and she would make sure but something was fishy. And that's just maybe my Scorpio moon going, So she disappears for that many days and then shows up like that. Interesting. Just want everybody to go look at some of those pictures of that.
I'm going to go and look at those. I haven't seen those. I saw a gold dress, but I didn't really pay. It wasn't her I was looking at.
It was like over the top.
Yeah.
Something. something weird about them. Like they look like dolls. And we've seen Megan look like that too. Now, interesting, all of a sudden they're showing Megan and she looks like she put on 40 pounds. I find that really, so are they ready to really, are they just making sport of Megan? Because guess what? Megan would never in a million years put on 40 pounds. She's in her 40s already. She would never do that. And we know she never had either any of those kids.
Yeah.
So like, that's just fake. She would never be caught dead doing that. Not in a million years. That's not her. And it was almost overnight, apparently, that she put it on. Come on.
Oh, I've got to see those pictures too.
Oh yeah, she literally looks like they've made her all pudgy, and it's like, okay, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But she would never do that. She's already in her 40s. She's never fluctuated like that in her whole, any pictures we've ever, give me a break. That's her number one concern, is her figure. She's not going to do that. That doesn't make sense. So they're doing something, they're gearing up for something, they're messing with them. All of a sudden, Catherine's on top.
It's hysterical. And can you imagine if you're sitting there watching that, how annoyed you'd be for that? That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And not even a mention of the kids, really. Not really. And nobody's even seen a smidgen of the new one. Give me a break. I mean, and some people are saying she's pregnant with 2 more, right? So she's in her 40s and she's having nonstop kids. That's about as absurd as it gets. Like, come on, you guys. Yeah. And I get it, because I was in my 40s when I had my son, but it was like a huge miracle. And I was being watched really carefully by a lot of medical people, and they were calling me a geriatric mom. So like, there's no way you're having multiple kids in your 40s. I mean, it's absurd. Okay, let's have a look. So now we're asking about the royals in general. How are they going to spin this? Okay.
Yeah, how are you going to spin this moving forward? You know, are you going to keep having actors, or are they going to come clean about them, or what?
It looks like they got a plan for their demise. And and I've got this before, I feel like, you know, this, I'm going to sound brutal here. So if you're a big royalist, you better get off the video right now. You're not going to like this. Okay, I feel like their plan might be to exit. And I don't know exactly, literally, do they? I think they're already somewhere. Yeah. So they're going to exit the pretend. So they're going to plan a false situation that looks like I get an accident of some kind. Yeah. And maybe 3 or 4 of them go at once. And I've got that before. I thought it would happen sooner, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so there's that. And they're still gauging, they're still finding usefulness for 3 of them. So I'm thinking that's William, the 3 we mostly see that really actually could look like they might be them, would be William, Catherine, and Prince Charles's wife.
Oh, Camilla.
Camilla. Yeah, she actually looks the most like it could actually even be her still. Yeah. William is definitely not him. And Catherine recently feels like she got exited somewhere. I don't know where they took her, what they did to her and the kids. I don't know what I think now we're only going to see fake stuff from the, right? But we did see periodically real stuff there, especially with Kate.
Yeah.
And Camilla. And she's the last one that I feel you might even get glimpses of her real self. I'm not sure about that, but or they did a really great job replacing her. Let's see. Yeah, so this feels like it's a big, the next big thing, really huge, has to do with the guy they already know is Epstein's buddy there.
Yeah.
Andrew. So Andrew's absolutely, and this could be a water sign too. And we know that the other water signs in the family, I don't know if Andrew's a water sign, but William is, and so's, who's the other guy? Camilla's, I never remember. Charles. Okay, he's Scorpio. So these are scorpionic and they're very bad. Okay, so we used to think way back in the day, William was such a nice guy. Turns out he's literally, could even be literally the Antichrist. I mean, or they were planning it for him to be, I don't know how that works, but something, some big connection to the darkest cult member, and him and Charles are both in that. Now, there's also a really interesting circulating story that when Diana left, she took her actual kids, and these kids aren't them anyway. So that may be helpful to people that really love the royals. And knowing Princess Diana, I mean, that people do say what about her, she would never have left their kids. Yeah. So that is a possibility that, and all of that I think will come out. I think all of this, but I feel like they're going to take them out in a group, and maybe the Queen first, and then out goes the rest of them on some gravel.
I've always thought there's going to be that. I mean, it's the easiest way, isn't it, to deal with it, is to be some horrific accident involving a few of them and everything. So
there's no way they're going to really, I don't think by this time next year you got a royal family, but that's just what I'm getting here.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, I'll take care of the corgis. I'm not seeing them homeless. I love corgis. It's not your fault, corgis, at all.
I bet they've been already adopted out. That's what I'm getting.
I hope so. Good. So long as the corgis are all right, then we don't really care about the rest. So, right. There are a lot of pictures circulating on the internet about different coloured bloods, and the blood from the people being really dark. Now, we know there's so many shades of grey along here, and some people have got the real thing, some people haven't. But can we ask what's the significance of all these pictures of the different blood colours being shown from the and the things? And is that being circulated by the white hats or the black hats, or the good or the bad, however we want to call it? Because there's a lot of fear behind that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a lot of that's false.
Yeah.
A lot of that's fear mongering on the part of, maybe on the behalf of the good guys. Mm. Maybe they're not literally in charge of that part of it, but they're trying to get, so I feel like the thing they're trying to do is show you the plan. The plan was to genocide humanity.
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't want that to go unnoticed. They can't let the war go by and fight a war quietly in the background, not let humans know what was in store for them and what these guys have been up to and what they've been doing. We will not wake up unless we know all of that stuff. So as a humanity,
yeah.
So brutal truths are going to have to come out, and it's already been coming out. Like, a lot of people know now that that's a dangerous thing and that they plan. So, but I don't think, and I'm just going to be honest, in my opinion, I don't agree with the people saying literally thousands are going to leave the earth plane if they had that. Yeah. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. I got hundreds of people around me who have, like, almost all my friends and relatives, not my close, like, obviously people that came to my party were all like me minded, except for a couple who, one was my sister and her friend. Okay. And that's great, right? And that was so sweet that they showed up and they knew what they were in for, because everybody was talking what we talk about. Okay. So that was really kind of my sister to show up and support her sister. And that's one of my sisters, and I absolutely love her for that, but she's deeply immersed in the system and with all the things that go along with that. And then there's literally hundreds of people I could name that have had the, and a couple of them, and nothing's happened to them.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So I'm going to say, yeah, there's pockets of, and then somebody else knows 5 people that literally everything went wrong after. I get that. But then there's 10 more stories of there's nothing happened to any of these people over here. So that's weird. Do you know what I mean? I think there's booby trap batches, and they've let some of them go, or maybe they couldn't stop all of it. And so it's wreaking havoc in little pockets. Absolutely it is. But it's nothing like the numbers. That's what anyway, when I do it. And that's just my opinion from the cards.
I
So
agree.
I'm not saying those guys are wrong. I think it was the plan. And we need to know what the plan was. So a lot of these stories that go out could come from this isolated incident over here. Or these, they took 5 people's from this batch's blood. And yeah, there's some, of course, but they can make anything. We've seen it. They exaggerate everything. Both sides are doing it.
I think this is the thing, isn't it, Janine? It's so, you know, both sides are doing it. Yep. And therefore, it's a message again that you just still can't believe anything that you're saying. You've got to go with what you're seeing with time and what you're experiencing, because otherwise anything you see, good or bad, because there's a tendency, if you see something good on the mainstream, to believe it. The definition of good, but we just don't know. There's so much manipulation everywhere, isn't there? So so on that note, there is quite a few prominent sports stars now that are standing up and saying no, they won't. So there's tennis stars that are going to be left out of the Australian Open because they won't comply. In the UK, we've got quite a lot of Premiership footballers that are saying, no, I won't. And then they're sort of really putting the pressure on them and sort of saying, well, you'll be dropped from the England team and things. So with these prominent people, because we've obviously had a lot of celebrities that have been supporting the agenda, we're now starting to see more, mainly on the sports side of things, that are not supporting the agenda. Is that going to make a difference? Is this significant?
Okay, so they tried to buy out all of those people's talents. They also, went back on a promise. So maybe the promise was, so the bad guys promised none of them would have to have it, but they had to support it because they knew what it was and what was coming down the pipe. Okay, you better believe all the politicians that are pushing it never got it.
Oh God, yes.
Blah, 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 right? And you can even see that they're actually exempt. If that doesn't say everything to normies, then they're more foolish than we thought. Do you know what I mean? Like literally look at who they're saying doesn't need to. Why does anyone
the whole of Pfizer and the whole of all the companies that have made it are all exempt from having it. I mean, it just is. It would be laughable if it wasn't so horrendous, you know. So yeah.
Did you guys see that? Also, there was that Pfizer guy that was caught on. So somebody went out for drinks with him. Probably a friend of theirs who was on the fence and got him talking after a few drinks. And so he basically said, your immune system's way better than what anything can do, and that we had to sign a non-disclosure. And he was spilling it, all the goods that we already know. And then they got him on film doing that. And then somebody looked him up and went and showed him the film footage that's gone viral since then. A TikTok went viral of this guy sitting at a bar, and he didn't even know he'd been filmed saying those things. And so you better believe the guy took off out of the video clip of this guy that sat down with him and was like, oh, are you so-and-so from Pfizer? The guy was like, what? And it was hilarious. He met up with him in a bar actually and said, is anyone sitting here? And then proceeds to tell him and show him the TikTok, and the guy freaks out and leaves. You can be sure he's been fired since then, but unbelievable. But anyway, so these guys, somebody went back on their word. So, or they started having a conscience and realized they were being used for the dark, right? Because we know a lot of them are compromised anyway. A lot of these really big stars, not every one of them, but a whole lot of them. Okay, so to varying degrees, right? Yeah. So I feel like some of them grew a conscience and others of them actually got told they would have to have it. Because remember, the good guys took over a lot of these ops. So all of a sudden the good guys probably said, oh, by the way, you guys are all getting it too. And because remember, everything got flipped. A whole bunch of stuff got flipped in the background. So they were originally promised by the bad guys they wouldn't have to, but they had to promote it. Then they promoted it maybe at first. Then they started realizing they're going to have to get it too. Oh, oops, a whole different story. Me and my family have to get it. Okay, it's bad then because I just did I know how bad it is because these guys made it.
Yeah, and I think there have been. I mean, some of them have been really standing up for a long while and have had a lot of stick, and it's just incredible. I think they must be divinely protected in some way, because they've really stood up against the grain and had so much hard work. But what's been so disappointing is to see some of the ones that are still going along with the narrative, because that shows they are well and truly compromised. Because then they're not that stupid. I mean, sports people are so in tune with their bodies, you know, that's not a lack of understanding side of things.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I wanted to, I don't know if you've asked this on one of your other ones, but the Facebook whistleblower woman.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. Yeah, I'm going to ask that on the Tarot by Janine in depth, but yeah, let's have a little peek at it. So is she a plant? Whose side is she really on? A lot of people don't trust her, including Mr. T, apparently.
Yeah.
Or is he just saying that? Or I could be just spinning it.
This is the whole thing. It's just like,
we got the 5D chess going on. Are they just, what's going on?
I never got past drafts, so it's all above me.
Yeah, it's all over my head too. Thank goodness I got the cards to help me figure it out.
I know. Thank goodness you have got the cards to help us all. Yeah.
Okay, this is really interesting. Okay, so she originally, like, even though they're saying all of these things about her background, she actually is coming from integrity.
That's my favorite card, that one, because it's got the little black cat there. I love it.
They want you to believe. So they planted all the stories about her being fake. So we got 5D chess, and they got something up their sleeve down the road where that's going to come in really handy. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, she was approached by the good guys to come on board with them and do this little stunt. Also to appear like somebody who's a bad person. So they made sure she had the right contacts, or they could trace back, or they could at least fudge that she had those contacts. Because they're saying she's coming from interesting family lineages and et cetera, et cetera. So this was all a double take. We're going to pretend she's good to pretend she's bad. So you think the bad guys play, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we gotta,
the whole of Barack Obama's history. And if the whole of the world has believed it for so long, they can easily make up a few dirty rumors about someone that wants to spill the beans. I mean, and it just, it's so easy for them to do it. So easy for them to Photoshop and everything. But interesting, I was just speaking just before we came on to a really good guy who works with some health products I like, and I love him and love his wife because I think they're so integral. Oh, but you know, one of the points that he was saying, and it's been the position in my career as well, so she's worked in the pharmaceutical industry for a long while, and therefore when you've actually been on the inside, you really do know what's going on. So sometimes you have to be in the dirt to actually be able to really understand just how things are, and it's really important. So everyone sort of can automatically dismiss someone because they've worked for this, or they've spoken to that person, or they've been in a party, but that's why they've got a lot of the information that they've got, isn't it?
Yep.
Then they've been there.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. They need the insiders. That's why they picked Mr. T.
Exactly.
He knew all of those people, and he knew, you know, he knew what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's unbelievable. So I saw also in your neck of the woods that there's a thing that in Quebec, the doctors that are not complying to this are going to have their licenses suspended by the 15th of October. I mean, it's just horrific what's happening to these people. Can we ask the cards what's going to happen with that? You know, it's just so awful. I can't believe if anyone would see that headline that it wouldn't be the biggest red flag.
Yeah, they want you to believe it's the bad guys are still in control. So you'll fear what's coming and start standing up for your rights. Yeah, it's absolutely a fake. Right. Not really going to happen. I believe it'll be halted just in time, or it gets backed up on, because all of this stuff's getting backed up. All of this stuff, and I'm thinking sometime in October. I think they named October what they named it for a reason. I think this is stop time, stop the BS time, because red is stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have been color coordinated with you, shouldn't I? I've got this bit wrong tonight. We go and do a quick change. So yeah, oh, how fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, my final question is a bit on a lighter note, really. Are we going to see in October, are we going to see someone that we significantly positive, famous, that we think has passed over, come out and reveal that they're still alive? Because we'd really like to just see one of them come back and give us some positivity.
Okay, so we've got people long thought passed over, but they were actually safe, like you're saying, and we've got this 6, so it'd be a big rah would happen. And we've got a 10. This is the outcome. Okay, I think that would be really great, and they might want that, and they might consider that as an option, but it's not a yes, it will for sure happen. This feels like temperate, so they're patiently looking at and taking the advice from very wise old souls, or even an ancient civilization like that. I don't know if that's off-worlders, galactic, I don't know, forces from outside our universe. I don't know who it is, but wiser ancient beings they're taking advice from, and they're going to wait till it feels right. So we're getting close though, because we got 10s and 9s in the reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're when they think it's time and it'll be appropriate, they'll do it.
I thought I've learned
a lot. Yes, but it's not a no.
Not yes, not no. So it will happen, but at the time that's right. So I'm going to have to keep working on my patience. I've done. It's not something I'm known for at all.
We all have to work on our patience.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh, thank you so much. Now, before we finish tonight, you and I will be speaking to the most amazing 𝐷𝐸𝐿, who's been on her travels and been meeting some fascinating people. So we're speaking to her on Saturday, evening UK time, sort of just before lunch your time. So we'll get that up on whatever platform is deemed suitable, depending what we decide to talk about. And I have one final appeal that I wanted to say, just a very unusual one. I don't normally do this, but anyone who looks at my YouTube channel, you will see a couple of weeks ago, I did an appeal, get Velvet the dog home with her lovely mother, Diana. Now you can watch all the details in that video, but basically there's a wonderful lady who's just doing fantastic work working with brain injured people, who has lost her job due to the current legislation that's been introduced in the UK. And she's raising funds to get her dog back to the USA with her through no fault of her own. She was let down with the arrangements, and we're nearly there. We need £800 more. So under this video, Janine's kindly agreed I could mention this, that I will put the link to Diana and Velvet, the video where you can find out their story, and how you can help. If anyone's got just £1 to donate by PayPal, we just need 800 GB pounds to get Velvet safely home back to America with her mum. And it's a heart-wrenching story, so I'll put the link to the video below there. But if anyone just has any little bit spare, it would just be so wonderful if we can get Velvet the dog back safely when we need to. So thank you, Janine, for letting me mention that. We all love animals. I know in your housewarming you had a fantastic link to your local cat charity, didn't you, as well? So thank you, everyone, and we will speak on Saturday, and then you and I will speak again next week. Thank you, Janine.